morning students, and welcome back in our video lecture with the same topic, acids, bases and salts. So students, in my previous video lecture we have discussed about neutralization reaction. So what is neutralization reaction? Acid and bases reacts with each other, they form salt and water. This is neutralization reaction. And also we have conducted one activity related to this neutralization reaction. Today we are going to study about reaction of metallic oxides with acid. So before studying reaction of metallic oxides with acid, we will first discuss what is the nature of metal oxide, because after that we are going to study about non-metallic oxides also. So first we will discuss about metal oxides or metallic oxides. So student, what is mean by metal oxide? Generally all metals reacts with oxygen, they form respective oxide, so it is called metal oxide. And what is the nature of metal oxide? So this when one more thing student, all metal oxides are not get dissolved in water, but some metal oxides easily dissolve in water, some dissolve in cold water, some metal oxides dissolve in hot water, and some metal oxides even they are not dissolved in water, hot water or cold water, they react with steam. Okay, so this there is there are different ways of reacting these metal oxides with water, but those metal oxides which can dissolve in water, they form respective bases, respective basic solutions, alkalis are formed. So here you can see sodium oxide, calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, they can easily dissolve in water. So what happens when sodium oxide just dissolve in water? It forms sodium hydroxide. Calcium oxide forms calcium hydroxide, and magnesium hydroxide forms magnesium hydroxide. So in general we can say that when metal oxide dissolve in water, they form solution which is basic in nature. So what is the nature of metal oxide? Metal oxides are basic in nature. Remember this thing, these points are very important. What is nature of metal oxide? Metal oxides are basic in nature. Why basic in nature? Because when metal oxides dissolve in water, they form basic solution. That's why metal oxides are basic in nature. So now we are going to study about the reaction between metal oxide and acid. So here you can see copper. First we will start, one activity is there in your textbook. That activity is you have to take copper oxide. So what is color of copper oxide? When we heat, original color of copper is reddish brown color, and when we heat that copper oxide, black color copper oxide is formed. When we heat that copper, then black color copper oxide is formed. So what is original color of copper? It's brown, reddish brown in color, and when we just heat that copper, it forms copper oxide which is black in color. So when we just, what is the reaction? You have to take that copper oxide and add that copper oxide in hydrochloric acid. So student, here we add acid. What is neutralization reaction? Acid plus base gives salt and water. So here we add acid. As we add acid, copper oxide is basic in nature, because there is no reaction between acid and acid, and also two bases do not react with each other because of their similar physical properties. So as we add hydrochloric acid, it means that copper oxide is in basic nature. It has basic nature. So metal oxides are basic in nature. Then when we add hydrochloric acid to copper oxide, then what will happen? You just see that black color copper oxide, it just dissolve in it and it forms copper chloride, and H2O is formed. So you will see that solution turns blue-green in color. It turns bluish green in color because of this copper chloride. So what is the reaction? When copper oxide reacts with HCl, it forms copper chloride and H2O is formed, and that solution get converted, means black color copper oxide get converted into bluish green color copper chloride. So what is the balance reaction? CuO plus 2HCl gives CuCl2 plus H2O. This is activity which is given in your textbook. Then also we can add, means what will happen if we just take some other oxides and then we just add some other acids in it. So if we just take magnesium oxide and HCl, then what is the reaction? Magnesium oxide and HCl forms magnesium chloride and H2O. Then calcium oxide, if we just take other acid like H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, then calcium sulfate and H2O is formed. What happens with aluminium oxide and hydrochloric acid? It forms aluminium chloride and H2O. Means in general we can say that when metal oxide reacts with any acid, it forms respective salt and water. So what is general reaction for metal oxide and acid? Metal oxide reacts with acid, it forms salt and water. What is general reaction? Metal oxide reacts with acid, it forms respective metal salt and water. So here some examples are there. What are the examples? This copper oxide plus HCl, it is given in your textbook. It is related to activity. So CuO plus 2HCl gives CuCl2 plus H2O. That is salt and water. Then MgO plus 2HCl, it gives MgCl2 plus H2O. Then calcium oxide CaO plus another acid like sulfuric acid H2SO4, it gives CaSO4 plus H2O. And aluminium oxide Al2O3 with hydrochloric acid 6HCl, it gives 2AlCl3 plus 3H2O. So these are some more examples which are not given in your textbook. So write down these examples in your notebook for your extra information. So what is general reaction between metallic oxides with acid? When metal oxides reacts with acid, they form respective salt and water. What is nature of metal oxide? Metal oxides are basic in nature. Why basic in nature? Because here we add acid. So as we add acid, it should be basic in nature, and I have explained you what is the nature. Why it is basic in nature? Because when this metal oxide dissolve in water, they form solution, basic solutions, alkalis are formed. But what happens? There are some exceptions like aluminium, iron, zinc. These metals do not react with either hot water or cold water. They react with steam. So these are examples of amphoteric oxide. So what is amphoteric oxide? That we will study in our next topic, metals and non-metals. But in general, what is nature of metal oxide? Metal oxides are basic in nature. What is the reaction? When metal oxide reacts with acid, they form respective salt and water. So these are the examples. I hope you got all points related to reaction between metallic oxides with acid and what is the nature of metal oxide. Now we are going to study about a reaction of non-metallic oxide with base. So before that, just now we have discussed about nature of metal oxide. So what is nature of metal oxide? Nature of metal oxide is all metal oxides are basic in nature. And what is the reaction of metal oxide with base? As these are basic in nature, they react with acid. All metal oxide reacts with acid, forms salt and water. Now we are going to study about non-metallic oxide. So student, tell me, what is the reaction between metal oxide and base? So there is no reaction between metal oxide and base because all metal oxides are basic in nature, and you all know two bases cannot react with each other because of similarities in their physical properties. They do not react with each other. There is reaction between acid and base always. Two bases or two acids do not react with each other. That's why metal oxides reacts with only acids as they are basic in nature, and these metal oxides do not react with base. There is no reaction between metal oxide and base. Now we are going to study about non-metallic oxide. So as the word indicates, non-metallic oxides means oxides of non-metals. So in periodic table, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, all these are, and so many non-metals are there. So carbon dioxide. So what is carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is oxide of carbon, and carbon is non-metal, so it is non-metallic oxide. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is also oxide of sulfur. Nitrogen dioxide is oxide of nitrogen, and all these are non-metals. So these are examples of non-metallic oxides. So first we will discuss about nature of non-metallic oxide. So what is nature of non-metallic oxide? So when this carbon dioxide reacts with water, then what will happen, student? It forms H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide also form respective acids. carbon dioxide form carbonic acid, then sulfur trioxide form sulfuric acid, nitrogen dioxide form nitric acid. So it means that these non-metallic oxides, as they dissolve in water, they form respective acids. Acidic solutions means, what is nature of non-metallic oxides? These non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. What is the nature of non-metallic oxide? Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature and metallic oxides are basic in nature. Why these are non-acidic in nature? Because when these non-metallic oxides reacts with water, they form acids like carbonic acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. They form acidic solutions. That's why these are acidic in nature. So as you all know, what is the neutralization reaction? Acid plus base reacts to form salt and water. Means these are acids. So these will react with base. So one activity is there in your textbook, but we have discussed about this activity in my previous video lecture. So what is the activity? I told you about one test for detection of carbon dioxide. What is the test? Just pass carbon dioxide gas in lime water. Lime water is nothing but calcium hydroxide, that is a base, and carbon dioxide is non-metallic oxide. So if you just pass that non-metallic oxide through that lime water, then what is the reaction? We have discussed about this reaction. When carbon dioxide is passed through calcium hydroxide, then calcium carbonate is formed, which is white in color, and that's why lime water turns milky, and water also form. So base plus base plus acid forms salt and water. So basic general reaction for non-metallic bases, non-metallic oxide is same. What is the basic reaction? Non-metallic oxides react with base, they form salt and water. This is general reaction. And what is the reaction for activity which is given in your textbook? Calcium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms calcium carbonate, that is its salt and water. So this calcium hydroxide is basic in nature, and this is non-metallic oxide because carbon is non-metal. That's why CO2 is oxide of that non-metal, and it is acidic in nature. Why it is acidic in nature? I told you why it is acidic in nature, because when this carbon dioxide reacts with water, it forms carbonic acid, that is acidic solution. So this is reaction of non-metallic oxide with base. They form salt and water. So two more examples are there. If this SO2, that is some non-metallic oxide of sulfur, sulfur dioxide reacts with NaOH, then what will happen? It forms sulfate, sodium sulfate, and then H2O. Then when magnesium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms magnesium carbonate and H2O, means salt and water. So these are two examples for your extra information. So what do you think, student? These non-metallic oxides reacts with acid or yes or not? This will react with acid or not? So non-metallic oxides do not react with acid because these are already acidic in nature, and two acids do not react with each other because of their similar physical properties. That's why non-metallic oxides plus acid, there is no reaction. They do not react with acid. So today we have discussed about metallic oxide and non-metallic oxide. So what is nature of metallic oxide? Metallic oxides are basic in nature. That's why metallic oxides reacts with acid. They form salt and water. What about non-metallic oxides? Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. That's why these react with bases. They form salt and water. And metallic oxides do not react with base. Non-metallic oxides do not react with acid because of their similar physical properties. I hope you got all points related to reaction of metallic oxide with acid and reaction of non-metallic oxide with base. If you have any doubt in this, you can ask me. Thank you.